absolutely wild day in Washington on the impeachment front. Just catch us up to speed there.
It absolutely was. The president of the United States was standing on stage with the president of Finland, and they're sitting there talking, theoretically about the U.S.-Finland relationship and all of the wonderful things that I don't know. Nobody remembers any of that part, let me tell you, because it all broke down real swiftly when it got to the Q&A. And you had at some points the Finnish leader just sort of sitting there like a side piece of art, while the president did battle with the media and did battle with congressional Democrats. Now, the crux of the underlying Ukraine issue have not really changed. The White House has admitted in a transcript of a call that President Trump asked a foreign leader for dirt on one of his political rivals. That has not really changed. But what you're seeing is what my friend Jonathan Allen calls an acid partisanship defense. The White House is basically sitting there going after, as hard as humanly possible, anybody on the Democratic side, particularly Adam Schiff, the intelligence chairman, who might put forward something here. And so you're seeing a lot of stuff come out here, and questions that would naturally be raised about who is the whistleblower, who flagged this, what was the process that they went through, what did Schiff do in response, who else was involved, what Rudy Giuliani, the president's lawyer, is doing, what Attorney General Barr is doing, all of these questions that sort of surround that main fact. But they're all being raised in this, as I say, this sort of like acid partisanship fashion.
So Derek, a whirlwind there, as you just mentioned, about what happened. How does Adam Schiff going to respond to that? It seems like he has issued a bit of a statement here in regards to what the president said. And what should we look out for today on this Thursday in particular?
Well, I think that Schiff is going to probably just keep on keeping on. That's kind of what he's been doing, generally speaking. Really, he's just sort of kept on keeping on. I think you're going to see this start to proceed forward into a more technical range, not just today, but as you're sort of going through for the next weeks. You're in an impeachment process, like an impeachment inquiry process. And that means that Democrats literally have to go through and build what they think will be a case as to why President Trump should be removed from his position. And so you're going to get into a lot of these details. You're going to see Rudy Giuliani, Donald Trump Jr., other people like that in the president's orbit go on TV and lob all sorts of accusations. Some of them may stick, some of them may not, but expect a lot of this sort of like flack to be thrown up and just sort of to see what happens with it.
Meanwhile, the U.S. just released the list of European items it plans to tariff worth as much as $7.5 billion. So what made the list here, and does this complicate trade talks next week with China?
I'm not seeing necessarily the U.S.-China connection here, because this is in response to that long-running WTO case about government aid to Airbus. Now, let me just sort of paint a scene here. If you really like, at the end of a long day, getting a nice bottle of single malt scotch, if you like sitting there having a great little cheese board, all of that is more expensive now. All of that is more expensive now. And there's certain targeted things that are going there on that sort of like European lifestyle products, I would say. Now, one of the things I thought was actually interesting was some of the stuff that was exempted, some leather goods, so Gucci isn't necessarily hit as hard as it might have been, and then some aircraft parts that Airbus might use in assembling things in factories in Alabama. The state of Alabama, one of Trump's states, had lobbied really, really hard for those exemptions. It looks like they got them.